Hello, this is Craig, and this is another mindfulness meditation awareness video. So, are you okay? How are you feeling? Um, Now, the answer to this question will dictate how mindful, how peaceful, present you are or not. So, if I ask, how are you? How are you doing? Are you okay? Sometimes the answer to this is, well, no, I'm not okay because there's this, and this, or there's that, and that's causing me problems just now. So you have to consider that the mind is always thinking about our problems. It has what's called a negative bias. So things can happen in life, and we're immediately in our mind sort of analyzing, interpreting, or labeling something. And we're also doing it in relationship to me, my, and I, to this body. So, an example of this is you're walking out in nature, there's some trees here, and it starts to rain. And immediately your mind is like, oh, there's like an ugh. You didn't bring a brolly. You weren't prepared for it, and here it is. Here's a rainstorm just arrived, and you go into your mind and you interpret what is happening as a negative thing. So it's like, oh no, it's raining. Now I'm me. Now I'm going to get wet. So this is a very simple example, but this is a highlight of what your mind is doing. Your mind is always looking at the negative sides of things because it wants you to be safe. So it's trying to keep you secure and well. So in itself, the mind is doing a fantastic job. However, the ego that comes in, the mind that comes in, this negative bias, isn't helpful unless you're observing what it is you're thinking about, because you can blindly live your life going through what your thoughts are telling you, and your thoughts are very negative. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, it's raining, that's not good. um, I'm struggling with this, I'm bothered by that. There's a constant kind of stream of thinking that's going on, and you very well think that that's how life is led. How can you function without your mind? You're always thinking. But noticing your thinking, taking a step beyond your mind, actually going beyond your mind is where you need to be, because the mind is just one aspect of life. Although we seem to live in it and we believe a lot of what our thoughts are telling us, I'm annoyed at this, you believe you're annoyed. This rain is making me fed up, you believe you're fed up because your mind is telling you. But these are just words, they're just labels, they're just interpretation, they're just opinion. None of these things are actually real. They're just based on conditioning and old patterns that you've got in your life. So to become aware of your mind that's thinking that you're fed up, that's thinking you're annoyed, and to challenge it, to actually come back to this moment and go, well, am I fed up? Am I annoyed? What is it about the rain that's making me like go, I'm annoyed at it, I'm bothered by it? It's because I'm going to get wet. So it's inconvenient, maybe. So, okay, I mean, obviously, when I get home, I can dry myself off or whatever. So, why am I getting bothered? There's this kind of immediate response that we have, our brain has. It's a subconscious response. So it's not conscious, it's not aware. It's just a it's just a thing that happens very, very fast. It's like, oh, this has happened, me annoyed. And there's no real gap, there's no space to kind of discern or observe this or watch why this is happening, to try and sort of go deeper understanding of why you're getting annoyed at something. So, this is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of observing that you've gone up here and you've judged something and you're annoyed with something, or you're bothered by something which is threatening potentially to you, whether it's just getting damp in the weather or something a bit more serious, but challenging it and just coming into yourself and going, well, hang on a minute. Thank you for that thought. Thank you, brain. Um, let me just pause for a moment. Let me just have this gap. You're creating a gap. I just want to be aware. Let me just come into awareness of how I'm feeling. Can I be aware of the rain that's hitting me? Can I just be with this moment just for a bit without immediately going into this judgment, without immediately going into this negative bias? We can do this. This is what mindfulness is doing. It's trying to create this kind of gap. And the more you practice it, this gap expands. And in that gap isn't thinking. There is no thinking in this gap. There is just a space. There is just an awareness. There's an awareness of the feel of rain on you, for example. There's an awareness of a thought, for example. But awareness is neither the thought nor the feeling of the rain. Awareness is a separate thing that seems to observe everything. So when you're aware, you're not thinking. If you're thinking, you're not aware because thoughts have kind of obscured the awareness of this moment, unless you're aware of the thoughts. So basically, it's very, very simple. This all sounds very complicated to the mind because the mind is trying to keep itself going. It refutes these things. But challenge yourself. That's what this video is about. Challenge yourself. Are you okay? And come back to this moment to answer that question. Not going into the past and going, well, I'm not okay because of this, this, and this. Or not going into the future and saying, well, I'm not okay because I'm worried about this, this, and this. Coming back to now. This moment, everything is okay. Because in this moment, you're aware. You can only be in the moment with awareness. Thinking is time. Takes you to the future or the past. Doesn't matter what you think about. You've gone. You've left the moment. Unless, as I say, you're aware of your thoughts. So awareness is the key. So how do I be more aware? Well, we're already doing it. You just have to let go of the thinking. So if you're an overthinker, if you're bothered by lots of things, if you're judging lots of things, if you're gossiping or criticizing things that aren't in front of you at this moment, things that have happened, things that could happen, then you're not present. You're not in awareness. You're thinking about things. And moreover, you're probably believing your thoughts too. But your thoughts are negative biased. Your thoughts are an ego victimness, if you like, trying to fix, trying to control and save you from life. But it's going to rain. It's going to do things. Life's going to flow and move and do whatever it needs to do. So can we walk our life with less judgment, with less opinion, with less criticism, with less negative bias, and more awareness? Awareness of the rain. Obviously, if it's pouring down and you can find shelter, you'll do that. It doesn't mean that you have to just stand in the rain. But you're aware of it and you're allowing it to be. You're allowing it to happen. You're not fighting anything that's happening to you. This is the key. If you're in fighting mode, you're defending your position. So a defensive position, and we do it in conversation all the time. If someone says something, you're like, oh no, it wasn't like that. Or, oh no, I did it this way, not that way. You're in a kind of defense position. Defense means that there's a threat coming your way. You're defending yourself against a threat. Your mind is perceiving things as a threat. The rain is a threat. The person in front of you is a threat. That's generating anxiety and worry in your body. And the more you reinforce that with defending, and thinking about me, my, and I, this body, I'm going to get wet. This person's bothering me. I'm upset by what I'm seeing. It all comes back to a personal nature. But the personal nature is your ego. The real you is awareness. Awareness just watches and observes. It doesn't judge or criticize. You can look at these trees in the picture. One tree is not looking at the other tree, defending its position to be there. It's not in a threat situation. It doesn't have a negative bias. It just is. It just does its thing, and everything is harmonious in this woodland. But if it was a load of humans stood together, would it be harmonious? No. Because a lot of us would be up here going, "You're too close to me. I'm in defensive. This is negative. I don't like standing here. I want to be over there. There's more sunlight over there than there is here in this dark bit. Why am I in this dark bit? Woe is me." That's your ego victimness. So are you okay? Just coming back to the first question. Have a moment to yourself right now. Are you okay? And notice if it's your mind that answers the question. You may go, no, I'm not, because of. But if you let go of the because of, you're just like, well, am I okay? No. Why am I not okay? Well, you kind of sort of look around a bit. You might go, well, I've got a pain in my leg. Or, okay, pain in your leg. So be aware of pain in your leg. Don't judge pain in your leg. Just, here it is. Just can you observe it? Can you do anything to, soften that pain maybe? Move it about a bit? Maybe you need to rest it somewhere. You can do things like that, but just you're with that, whatever it is. And so you're like, yeah, okay, I can be with that, I suppose. Am I okay? You're like, well, I'm not, I'm still not, I'm feeling a bit moody, or I'm feeling a bit restless, actually. So brilliant awareness there. So you're like, okay, restlessness. I'm restless. I'm bored, maybe. What is it? What is this moodiness about? Maybe I can sit with my moodiness for a bit. What is moody? What is it? It's just a thought. I'm moody. I'm bored. People who are bored think they're bored. People who are moody think they're moody. People who are annoyed think they're annoyed. But when you're just sitting and you let go of all of that, where's the boredom? Where's the annoyance? It's so simple. It's so simple. But our brain we're just living in our brain. We're living in our mind. You have to go, as I say, beyond the mind. Beyond the mind is awareness. There's a container for everything. You cannot think unless awareness is there in order to observe the thought. You are kind of conscious of your thinking, but awareness is a step back from believing and just following these thoughts as truth, because all your thoughts are not particularly true. They're not of this reality, this particular moment. They are always of something that's happened, and they're always of something of the future, and most of the time they're opinions. They're not facts. It's raining. That's a fact. If it's raining, you could label that as it's raining. That's a thought. But if, I'm annoyed at this rain, or this rain bothers me, or this rain's, I'm fed up with the rain, that's not true. That's just opinions of it. So, are you okay? Just keep coming back to that question. If the answer's no, challenge and go, well, why? What is it? Something going on in my body? Am I thinking about something? If I'm thinking about something, can I let the thought go? Can I just watch it go away? I don't need to be thinking about that if it's not here in front of me. What's going on? Can I come back to my body? Can I give myself a few breaths? Can I go for a mindful walk? Can I drink a mindful cup of tea? Can I come back to my senses? What can I see? What can I hear? What can I smell? What can I taste? Can I come back to my hands? Can I hold my hands like this? It's almost like a prayer, but you can hold your hands like this and just feel your fingers. You can even do little movements like this. It's awareness. While you're doing these silly little movements, silly is a judgment of this. It's a thought. They're not silly, it's just a movement. If you can just follow a movement, then you're in awareness and you're not thinking, and you're creating that gap and you're creating that space, and it makes you okay. Your space gives you your okayness. Your space gives you peace. Your space gives you happy. Your space gives you less negativity, less negative bias, less ego, less thinking about me, my, and I. There's just you, you're there, but you're connected. The rain is falling as you're listening to it. There's no separation necessarily. It's just one moment. So that's everything I wanted to say. I hope this makes some sort of sense to you. It's all about noticing if you're okay. If you're not, noticing if you're thinking. Notice what it is you're thinking about. Notice if they've got judgments, opinions, and criticisms in them. Let it all go. Come back to now. Use your mindfulness to come back to now. Breathe, be, sit, observe, watch, wait. Everything will move and shift. You don't have to do a thing. You just have to watch it. And notice how that makes you feel. Because the more you think, the more you'll worry. The more you'll be in a threat situation, the more you'll be defending yourself. Notice in conversation whether you defend yourself. Choose to let go of defense. Instead, just listen to the words of conversation. Breathe. Notice if it makes you feel anything, but breathe with those feelings, and then see if you can respond after a little gap, a little pause. You may find that you say something really profound as opposed to just a bloop. Oh, no, I don't like this. Or I want this to be different. So thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day. Just keep the practice going, very gentle to yourself. Life is really about being okay and about living and about enjoying. It's not about thinking about past or future concerns. Just be kind to that mind and everything will be fine. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again another time. Bye just now.